Yeah, really
Are
good.
you filming anything right now, or?
We actually have two projects in post. The feature waitlist, a lover's story that's being edited, and Brimstone, the short, is being edited, and we have another film in August called Assassin. So yeah, so we're planning to film something else as I'm writing a feature for another project. So we've been crazy busy.
Yeah.
It's all good, all good.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're here. We're doing something different, the reunion
Mhm.
show on Saturday night. So we put two of your films in. I think you're the only one with two.
Yeah,
There's more. I know there was more, but I was like, I can't fit everything.
no, no, I. That's why I wanted to give you a choice, whatever you felt the
Yeah,
audience favorites would be, and those are two of my favorites. So,
yeah,
you
mine
know,
too. I like those. I was always did. I've seen them multiple, many times at film festivals too. So absolutely. So
they
you were
get
just busy. You just had the Long Island Film Festivals.
yeah. The Long Island International Film Expo was about 2 weeks ago. I don't know, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
All a
ago.
blur to me. The 9th to the 14th. So
Yeah.
yeah, 2 weeks ago. It's all a blur to me now, as you
Yeah,
know.
it goes fast. I miss going to Long Island. I haven't been there. We lost our venue there for a little bit, so
Yeah.
but we got to find a new one if we want to go back to it.
You're looking to find a new one.
We might have like the brewery that they have. They were building like you couldn't do it there because there's windows everywhere. It's all windows, but they have an upstairs they built, but we haven't been there to look at it and see if it's a possibility yet. So they built a whole upstairs now. So
I
if
hope
there's
so.
not crazy windows, then we can pull it off. So we'll
Mhm.
see. But then I'm off that week in April of school. So I'm like, do I really want to go back to doing that again or go away?
Yeah, yeah, difficult decisions.
But I can't stop doing the bright side. 10 years now, so we're excited about that.
Agreed.
Yeah. So if we go back to both of those films, there, what one was like? Well, the taxi driver one was one of the first short ones.
That was my very first directorial debut.
Well,
And yeah, so that was the very first one.
yeah,
So much fun, so much work. It was how I decided whether or not I could be a director,
yeah.
and I wanted to see what made directors crazy, and that answered it. You know, that answered it. Getting snowed out of locations, and oh my god, we had blizzards and 6 different weather patterns, and we got Robert Clahassian from Blue Bloods, as you know, and Deb
Yeah, how did
Twist.
you? Is it because you worked in casting? Did you know him, or did he actually like? How did you go about getting him for that?
I knew him from casting him on two films before that,
Mhm.
Peter Bongiorno's um, My Cross to Bear, and then Christine Vertugian's Living with the Dead, a love story. So I had cast him twice from there, but he originally met him at the film festival. And
Oh,
I cast him in those. And then when we did Taxi, it's like, all right, what are we going to do? Are we going to do this for absolutely no money
yeah,
and just get anybody we can? Or are we going to raise some money, which we did, and try and get a name? And then if we get that, I better have a kick ass crew because I don't know what I'm doing, my first time out. And we decided to basically go with Robert. It was one of the best things ever because he is the movie.
yeah,
He's just hilarious. And I also knew, and I'm sure you know, that as people who run film festivals, and I also ran the Nassau County Film Commission, that if we made a movie that wasn't great, we would hear about it way more than someone else would. So
yeah,
I knew it had to really at least look good, and we
yeah.
definitely pulled that off.
And it played at many festivals. I remember going to
Yeah.
festivals, so you had a good run with that one.
Yeah, we really did. It even got into the monthly screening as Holly Shorts, which was amazing because it's my first film, and
First
that's
one to get, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
an Academy Award qualifying film festival. So it got into the monthly screening of that.
I never been to that one, but I want to go. I go to dances with films in LA, and I just like to go out there and escape New Jersey for a bit and experience that, and it's so cool.
Mhm.
Not to
Yeah,
live, but just to visit.
yeah. But I'm so excited to screen that again because that one was so
Yeah.
much fun.
So, John, did you work on that one? Did you film that one, John?
No,
You worked
Was
on it.
worked on
worked
it.
on?
I was basically the guy who had all the equipment. So whenever something happened, they would say like, "It's starting to rain." I would pull out umbrellas. It's starting. We need this. I pull out the cables.
Yeah, he
The
was the
truck,
guy in
the
the
truck
truck.
of everything.
Yeah, he helped keep it running. People getting stuck in the snow because we had a blizzard. John's like, "You need sand." Boom. We
Yeah,
need
I remember there was
shovels, you know?
remember the snow for that. Yeah, wow.
Oh my god, it was insane. It was a blizzard, but we had, I think, 4 days we could film this because we had a lot of students who were like our PAs, and John was teaching, and we had a couple of other teachers involved, and this was the 4 days we had, and this is the 4 days the class you could do it. So it's like we gotta just go for it and hope for the best. And luckily it turned out pretty good. So that
And
was
then we have the waiting room, which a lot of actors that you've worked with
yeah.
numerous times, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'm very excited. That's another one of my favorites. That was a 72-hour challenge. And
Wow. Really? I didn't know that. Wow. I
yeah,
don't know.
Jennifer Giles approached me and said, "Would you direct this?" And these are the people I have. And she had one actress who ended up couldn't make it, but she also herself and Justin Wilson was going to be in it. And she said, and I said, "All right, well then I'll do it, but I want to bring in Kieran Sheehan and Heather O'Scanlan and Noelle Diane Yaturo." I said, "But do you have a script?" And she said, "I don't." So I said, "All right, well, once we find out what the concept is, I'll write it." And I wrote it in 2 hours.
You wrote
And
that in 2 hours? Wow.
I wrote it in 2 hours. And again, the day before we were filming, blizzard.
Oh
So
no. Oh
we
my
had
God.
everybody coming in from New Jersey and upstate, and somehow
Oh,
everybody made it in time, and we shot it in one day, and it was a blast.
wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. One day shot.
Oh,
So one day edited too, and then was it
well,
so
they had a couple of days. I think he had 2 days to edit it, and then one day we had the sound. We had to do the scoring and the sound, but it really was pretty much was 72 hours. It's like 3 days, 4 days.
yeah, about 3 days, right? 3 days? 3 days?
Yeah, so I would have to be up at like, I mean, I get up in the middle of the night anyway, but somebody wanted to come in and score it for us for free who had been wanting to work with me. But when we got the first pass, it was so not what the film needed. So I had
Mm,
to fire somebody working for free, and I
well,
sent a message to an Italian composer I'd worked with before, and I said, Eros, I said, we got to have this like by 10 in the morning. I said, I don't have a lot of money, you know, and I told him what I had. And yeah, sure. And then in the morning, I got the score. I'm like, perfect. So
wow.
we tied it up
Yeah.
in 3 days, the whole film, which is impossible, but we did it.
Yeah. And then that had a long run too as well, I remember.
Yeah. That did. That was when I was keeping my films out a lot more than I kind of am now. But that played all
Yeah.
over the world, and I got a lot of really great feedback on that because of the spiritual message. And
Mhm.
people would say, "Oh, I always wondered what would happen if," and you know, so that kind of made me feel good. But Jennifer Giles and Heather and Kieran and Justin, they were all so much fun, and we all had a great time doing it. It was pretty awesome. I don't know if I do another challenge like that again, but
Yeah.
this was so worth it.
That's why I just said if I'm like, what should I do for our 10 year? I want to do something special, something different.
Mhm.
And then Tommy always kicks us out of there Saturday night at a certain time so we can have his parties. And I'm like, and he's like, can you do something where you can just keep it and I don't have to do that? I'm like, let me try.
Mhm. Yeah, no, it's a great idea.
So,
I like that.
so
Maybe
I have
maybe we'll
four
push for a
sets.
30th, you know, for life for the 30th or something. We'll see. But it's a great idea, you
Yeah.
know.
So yeah, I mean, and then at first I was like, oh, who do I get? What? And then I just kind of threw it out there, and then movies were pouring in. I'm like, I can't take anymore. I can't running out of room. But I think we got a good selection of. I just figured if someone won an award in the last 10 years, we'll put it in,
Mhm.
see, and kind of like a reunion to see people again. So
Yes. Yeah, that'll be fun. And of course, we love Brightside. We always have a good time there. I see more filmmakers from New York at Brightside than I do in
yeah,
New York. So,
it's it's crazy. Like the last time in March, I was when I was by myself, I thought it was going to be a quiet one, and it was the craziest one I ever had.
oh yeah,
I
believe it.
couldn't. I don't know how I dealt with it by myself because Chris was sick, so that was something. So at least we got Chris back now, and we got a
Yeah,
lot.
that's right. Remember that was insanity. I think you had some of the filmmakers were helping you out with stuff
Yeah,
just to get it done, which is great. Yeah,
yeah.
Brightside's a
Doing
great.
it by yourself, and I knew I didn't want to do it by myself. I'm like, this is a two person, more than 2 person job, but we were able to handle it with 2 people usually.
Mhm.
One person, no.
No,
Not want to have that happen again. So
it's impossible with two people, but somehow you make it work anyway.
somehow we do it. We kind of cut it right in the middle of what our duties are, and
Mm-hmm.
and then I go off the rails and do things like this.
It'll be fun though. It will be
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely. Yeah. So, and sure. Yeah, I'm just excited to see everyone again and have like a reunion with people, and maybe and see where people are at these days.
Yeah.
Many years later. So there were some filmmakers I haven't seen in like 8 years.
Oh wow. And they're gonna come in and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, I hope they show up. I don't know.
No, that's great. I love that. I really, that's something I would love to do for life. We're so jam packed that
Yeah.
it's kind of not possible. But maybe, like I said, if we make it to 30 and we're all still alive, and then maybe we'll take a day and just pick some of the winners.
Yeah.
At least the local ones who were around. And,
Yeah. So you know that they probably come by and see
yes.
where they went from many years ago and now, and it's kind of some people not in it anymore. Some people a good progression. So it's
Mhm.
exciting. It's like exciting to see. But so with that's the reunion part, and then you have another film.
We do. On Sunday, there's a short film called The Lonely Road to Nowhere. That was actually written by John Gallagher, not that long before he passed away. So
Oh, wow.
Linda had contacted me and said, look, I want to do this. Can you guys put something together? And I think we were on the tail end of COVID. So we, I think, had a 5-person crew, if that. And we just borrowed a friend's house. Everybody was masked up. We had to give everybody tests before they came in. John, who shoots almost all of our movies now,
Yeah.
he had to be the COVID compliance officer. He was certified. He said, I can't shoot this and be the COVID compliance officer. So he did sound, knowing that I can be where I need to be. And once we start filming, then I can pay attention to this. So we did it in probably half a day, and stars Brooke Turner and Linda Collins. Linda's the executive producer, and she was very close with John. So, she really wanted to just get this done. And I think that he had this short, and he had one feature, which I don't think anything happened with the feature. But, we want to at least do that. And then kind of as a follow up to that, it's not screening in this year's film festival, but Linda and I sat down after and said, let's do something to actually really honor John. And that's when I wrote The Prof, and we ended up doing that because even though it wasn't based totally on his life, it kind of, we gave him the happy ending he never got to have, because he was so sick for so long. So it's kind of interesting to see A Lonely Road to Nowhere. And then we ended up with The Prof, like a year later. And I mean, it's a short little film, it's cute. It's we got it done quickly, and he got to get it out there, even not being here anymore. So
absolutely. Yeah, no, it is a cute little short film. Like you could fit in a short, regular. It's you could go all over the place with it. And it's funny. I have a lot of this time around, a lot of like 2-person short films.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a lot of conversational pieces this time around. It's just randomly how that happens, but there's a lot of films like that this time.
Yeah, I mean, I could see on
it was the end of the pandemic, like you said, like towards the end, and they were just doing like 2 actors, and
that's it.
Maybe.
Well, what they could afford, if you want location, if you don't have to move people around, you can do it with a crew of 5. I don't think, and we don't usually have that much more than that anymore. Back in the day, I think Taxi, we had like a 15-person crew. It's normal for us to have 7 or 8 people now, with the actors, and this was even just 5 because that's all we could. Get in there and do it legally and whatnot. But you know what? If you're a filmmaker, you're going to find a way to do it. You're going to find a project to do, and you're going to find a way to do it.
I was doing the compliance, Sean. How was that?
Well, with only like 7 people, it wasn't much of a challenge.
Yeah. I remember I was on Kevin Smith's set. We had a compliance guy, and I think everybody hated that guy. I felt so bad for the guy. They all hated him because he would just come around, like look around and just be all over you at all times, mask this, that. And everyone's like, oh. And this was towards the end of the pandemic too. So
we separated. I mean, the good thing is, in my friend's house, I was in one room with the monitor, and I forget who was on the other side. There was somebody else in there with me. I don't remember who. And then okay, Manny probably. And then the 2 actors were next to each other in the kitchen, and everybody was kind of separated from each other in the house. Mm-hmm. So really wasn't that big a deal, and they didn't move. So there was almost nothing to do.
Shot long lenses, so
yeah.
doing it on the boom mic. So nobody was anywhere near anybody else.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing. Now
Yeah.
that I think about it.
And I'm it's great. Everyone was really creative and doing things like that, and I'm happy it's over.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. We did a, for a Couple of Guys, which is a series we're 2 episodes away from finishing. um, we did an episode called, Va 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 Zoom, which is
Oh,
about, during COVID, where Lucas Hassel and Sal Rendino, they're this married couple who have to be separated because, Sal has potentially contracted COVID. He's been
no.
exposed, and those times he didn't go near anybody. And so I got Abigail Hawk and Lucas and Kieran, um, and was there someone else? And those 2 actors, and I got them all on Zoom, and we did, a surprise party. Lucas is throwing a surprise party for Sal over Zoom, and
Oh,
he
wow.
doesn't know what else is going to pop up, and he's in the middle of a striptease. So that, and also he looks, and everybody's on the Zoom call going surprise, and we put that on, the website. That was just kind of a cute thing. No sound or anything, just whatever was on the computer. But you know
Yeah.
what? When you're creative, you're going to find a way to do something, and that was a blast. That was
It's
definitely
funny because they kind of like that. Things like that happen with people in meetings and during COVID, and funny things like that happen where people would pop up and things like that.
Yep. Yep.
They're like, I think someone
Yeah.
I've seen some videos of the person leaving and their dog staring at the camera. It's things like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, absolutely.
yeah.
Well,
So,
good.
yeah, absolutely. So, anyways, it's great to have you guys again, and should be a fun time and the bright side over the summer. So,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
excited
excited.
about it. Just getting ready. That's I'm not ready for it. I'll tell you that one.
I don't think you're ever really ready for it. It just happens, and
Just
that's it.
happens.
And you try
Yeah,
and have a good time while you're at it. 'Cause-
absolutely. Yeah. So it comes so quick that we do it twice a year. I don't need. It's,
Yeah, I don't know.
I got shirts made for the first time ever. I never made shirts before, so I made shirts for the 10 years. So not many because and they cost a lot of money these days.
They do. Yeah, they do. We had just had T-shirts and hoodies made up for the cast and crew of Waitlist. Waitlist, I love your story, and because everybody worked for so little and so hard, and we kind of just said, let's just bite the bullet and do it. I have a
Yeah.
good feeling about this movie, so let's just,
I don't
as a good act of good faith, let's just put the money in and buy that stuff. And yeah, it's expensive.
Was that a short or a feature that you did?
This is a feature. It started as a short. It was a 1-day short. Um, but once we finished filming, I said, this is too good to be a short. It's like, I want to know what happens to these characters. And so we ended up, in 4 or 5 days, I wrote the entire feature. And
Wow.
like a month later, we were filming, and I ended up getting Robert Hesse's in it, and Tara Westwood, and Abigail Hawk from Blue Bloods, and Kim Director from The Deuce, and Blair Witch. All these, they just jumped in, and they all wanted to be a part of it. And so, we got that done. But what I might do is I still might go back to having the short for the shorts film festivals and then sell the feature. So I have to decide if we're going to go that way, because the short itself is adorable,
No?
but the feature gets really kind of heartbreaking and stuff at times. But yeah, I think I'm going to do that too, because I really would like to get that out there. It stars Beck Fortis, which you may know. She does hair and makeup, but she's also an actress from Australia. And Travis Grant, who's a young comedian who is so talented. And we had a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun making that.
How long did that take to make?
Well, the short was the 1 day, but then we went back and refilmed everything. And I'm going to say it was like 12 days to do it.
16.
Oh, 16, something like 12 to 16, whatever it was. There was a couple of short little things in there. But yeah, but we did it all locally. We got all the locations for free, and people just jumped in wanting to get involved, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's
And
always
John
fun.
got that one. And then Brimstone, which is another short, which is in editing right now. We might make that into a feature, but John is in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he just plays this very evil person. And he's very scary. And I'll never forget what Rob Graydon was the AD on that one. And at one point, John should give us an evil smile. And John puts on this grin. It's like, Jesus, John. It's like, I said evil smile, and not like you were going to eat all of our souls.
That one, I'd love to see that movie.
Oh yeah, that's that'll be interesting. It's very. I mean, obviously, editing is always very particular, but that one, it's
Yeah.
just the timing has to be just so perfect, because it's kind of a horror thing,
No.
which I don't do much of. But
No, but that's fun. I was talking to someone earlier. They did like a thriller. I'm like, you can put this in like horror con festivals. They're fun. Those people are a lot of fun.
yeah, it was a very tough film because first of all, it's hot out. We're shooting in a basement from the 1800s,
Wow.
because it's about this son that's had a very abusive childhood, and he's having problems with his wife. And basically, she tells him, "You have to fix this, or it's just not going to work." So he goes back to confront his father, and it all takes place in this basement, and it's an old basement, didn't even have corners, because in the old days, you got a basement without a corner, because is it that the witches can't hide there, or Satan can't hide there, or
Satan.
something?
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. So,
wow.
and John just plays the father, and he's just nuts. And Travis Grant plays his son, who comes from a comedy background, so he's never done anything this intense before, and it was.
Wow.
Yeah, he was exhausted after, because this is going to stretch every muscle. He never knew he had. But yeah, but I'm really really happy with how it's looking. I think it's so different from what I usually do, so
Yeah.
that's kind of fun for me to do that too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Any film festivals coming up other than Brightside? Anything else popping up quickly?
But yeah, we're going to be in the New Jersey Web Fest with a couple of guys,
I always
and
miss that one. I always miss that one. People always say, "Did you submit that?" I'm like, I only have student films, and I think it's a little expensive for student films, but
yeah,
maybe
so
one of these days.
so I think so they're playing a couple of guys, and I think also the prof. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
a couple of my screenplays are in Flickers, Rhode Island, and Finals the Big Ass. Okay. Um, yes, Tracy. Thank you. I don't know what else. I'm sure we have some others. Phoenix. Oh, I can't announce it. A
Yeah,
couple I can't announce yet because they haven't gone public. But I've slowed down now with film festivals. I'm trying to just do the ones I really, really like.
yeah.
And pick a new one here or there. But
I
you
did
know,
too. Even with the student films, I kind of slowed down this year with submitting them and
yeah.
just concentrating on our own stuff and everything. But I do miss going to a lot of them though.
Yeah, it's they're exhausting. I mean, we were just at Fort Myers, and right from there we went to Blackbird, and right from there we went to goodness knows what else. We've been really all over the place, but and we enjoy them. I mean, that's kind of our version of vacation.
Yeah,
Is we go away to a film festival.
that's how I did it. Yeah, that's why I went to LA. That was my vacation, and
Mhm.
we had a film and did the whole festival out there. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. So well, thanks for joining me for a few minutes today, and we will see you in a couple weeks, I guess.
Sounds good. I'm excited. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.